Well, hey, Facebook and beyond. This is Tuna, and I'm here today with.
Dr. Michael Gross. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Lots to
We.
share
Are,
today.
I jumped on you. I'm sorry. Um, we are really excited about the news that we have for you today. Michael has a powerful message, and we really respect your time and appreciate it. So we're going to keep this to about 30 minutes, right, Michael?
Correct.
And what I'll start with, and just because we have to say this, the Pacific Northwest has stellar weather right now, absolutely stellar weather. And if I get a little sidetracked, it's because the sun's coming in my window. So anyway, this is the only part we script because it needs to be everybody needs to know exactly the integrity and the history of this incredible man, Dr. Michael Gross. So I'm going to go ahead and read it. Dr. Michael Gross is an author, professional keynote speaker, transformational coach, and an entrepreneur. For more than 3 decades, he's been on a spiritual path as an intuitive, a healer, a spiritual counselor, and an incredible teacher. Through the guidance of spirit, Michael has assisted others in their personal quest for self empowerment, helping them to create the lives that they have long sought and to bring forth their intuitive abilities. Michael currently teaches classes in spirituality, self empowerment, Reiki, and other modalities. In concert with God, the true source, he has also achieved great success and miraculous healings. He remains humble, knowing that the work he does all comes from God, the true source. Michael lives in Lakewood, Washington, and has recently launched his incredible nonprofit. I'd love to have you share a tiny bit about the nonprofit, Michael, and then go ahead and just go into our topic today, okay?
All right. Thank you. The nonprofit is called the International Institute of Self Empowerment, and we affectionately call it TIISC or TISI. And it's going to have 12 arms. And the first arm is to assist women and men who are abused and their children. And it's a huge undertaking. I know we're going to be successful. And the expert who I consider to be the true expert is Tia Napa wrote a book about it, who is a survivor of it. And I asked her to be director of that division. So thank you very much. We're a 501c3, and we're always open to donations, and the money goes directly to 501c3. So thank you. So, what I'd like to talk to you about is the Great Soul Awakening. There's a major shift that already started on our planet gradually last couple of months ago. But now it's beginning to pick up steam, so to speak. So, really, what does that mean? Well, the year 2023 is a year of introspection. It's a year of looking at your life. It's a year of looking at what is holding you back, what direction do you want to achieve. And it's a year of review of all the things that have occurred in the past years and up to the day you were birthed from your mother. But really, what does that mean? It means we are given the golden opportunity right now to take a look at all of our blocks, our hindrances, our doubts, our fears, our anxiety, and insecurities. And it's a point now where we can begin to heal those emotions, those fears, those doubts, and those blocks rather, and those anxieties. So really, do we have any? Yes. Every bit of information that we have experienced in this lifetime is stored in your subconscious. And then there's an alternative storage. So it's like a computer that has a hard disk, and then you have a backup disk. So the hard disk can be compared to your subconscious. The backup disk is you stored all those emotions in your cellular body, in your brain, your heart, your liver, lungs, spleen, pancreas, gallbladder, etc. Every organ, every part of your body. So might wonder, why is it stored there? The answer is that your soul and you pick different spots in your body to remind you that if there's an imbalance, that you need to realize, that you need to release all these blocks, hindrances, fears, doubts, and insecurities. One of my themes, lack of self worth, self love, and self esteem. That's really what it's all about. And it's so important for you to look at all these fears, doubts, blocks, insecurities, sensitivities, etc., because You are given the golden opportunity now to examine it, to heal it, and release it once and for all. We as human beings are really great. We kind of stuff things in a closet. We don't want to face it. But this is a point where it's going to be popping up in your life over this year and early part of next year. So what do you want to do? You want to run from it, the fight or flight or frozen syndrome? Go ahead. But you know that expression, you can run, but you can't hide. And eventually it's going to catch up with you. And when it catches up with you, you're going to feel some anxiety, fear, doubt, etc. And I remember when I was working with the True Source, and there were some things I had to release, and I fought it. I was angry. I didn't want to do it. I was mumbling and groaning, but the True Source said, "You got to release this." And was relentless. And as I went through it, I finally said, "I give up." So I'll release it. I go, "Wow, that wasn't so hard. Wow, why did I fight it?" So it's kind of like, a poor example, but it's kind of like if you have an infection in your finger and you should put some antibiotic ointment on it, but you don't do it. You're lazy, you're tied up. And then it begins to swell on your finger and it gets bigger and bigger. Now it becomes very painful and it hurts like heck. And let's say your finger almost doubles in size and you got all this bacteria and poisons in your finger. And then finally, you either go to the doctor lances it, or you do what I do. It gets so painful, you actually, by mistake, bang your finger against something, it bursts open, and all these toxins come out called pus. You go, gosh, I should have done this weeks ago instead of fighting it. And using that analogy, think for a minute. Why do we want to hang on to these things? Well, we're fearful. We don't want to face the truth. We want to believe we're mortal. We want to believe that we do everything right. The truth of the matter is, we do everything right, and it depends upon how you look at it. So everything is correct. Why do I say that? If you have a fear, false evidence appearing real, it means that you have to look at that fear and release it because it's just an illusion. It's something you've created. Or you have allowed someone to create in your life, which is still something positive. It's fiction because once you face the fear, it's no longer there. But you've learned something, you've gained knowledge, you become empowered. And many times, I talk about the word failure means success. Well, what does that mean? It means you learn what worked and didn't work. Is failure failure? No, it's success because you gain new knowledge. So looking at your life now, everything is following the way it should. What it means is your soul goes, hey, Michael, whatever your name is, you have got to release this stuff. And you have a choice. You can release it kicking, screaming, or yelling, hang on to it, and it'll keep coming back and coming back and coming back. You finally go, I surrender, I'll let it go. Or you hang on to it long enough and you birth out of your body, guess what? You got the round trip ticket to do it all over again. Oh, joy, I don't want to experience this again. I've had enough of this. But let's look at the other side of the coin. So as you're releasing these fears, these doubts, these blocks, these insecurities, sensitivity, lack of self-worth, self-love, self-esteem, you are empowering yourself and you're gaining new knowledge. And this knowledge will help you to succeed in life with complete understanding and painlessly. And also, the other side of the coin is you hang on to these different energies, and let's say that are negative and stopping your growth and creating the fear and doubt. Guess what? It's being stored in your body. Oh, well, why would you have a heart condition or an ulcer or high blood pressure or perhaps arthritis or perhaps, I hate to say it, the C word, cancer, or perhaps some other type of illness? Why? Because you have not let go of those inhibiting, blocking fears and doubts and insecurities and lack of self worth, self love, and self esteem. I mean, it's got to go somewhere. It just doesn't hang out there. It just comes into your body. And, I talk to a lot of people. I want to point this out. So I was working with a client and she said she went to the hospital. I said, oh my gosh. And they couldn't find anything wrong, which is wonderful. I was happy and all get out. But I described that she had a panic attack. And she said, well, nothing's bothering me. And I tried to explain, you're right now. But what happens is an accumulative factor. It's like a sponge. It absorbs water, absorbs water, absorbs water, and it can't absorb anymore and it leaks to your body. What it does, absorb all this stress. Then it has to come out. How does it come out? Panic attack, high blood pressure, come out with diabetes, come out with heart condition, come out with some other kind of illness. That's what it does. So you think you're winning the battle. You're not, because there's the fight, flight, or frozen syndrome. And those that hang on to it are frozen. No, I understand that. Have I ever had something frozen? Yep, sure have. Has it been painful? Yep. So I've learned to let this go as quickly as possible. And that's so important for us. Because, when I say if you don't know where you're going, you can't get lost. But in life, because we are here at this planet at this time, you, the listeners, are given the wonderful opportunity to take a look at your life, which is going to come up automatically as you're watching this, and to get rid of the fear, get rid of the doubt, the lack of self worth, self love, and self esteem. You're given that opportunity. And look at this as a wonderful gift. Yeah, Michael, I want this gift of pain like I need a hole in my head. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. But if I were to tell you that if you release this, you'd have $1 million, $1 trillion in your life and everything will be joyous and happy. You go, yep, I want to do it now. I want to do it now. That's my incentive. Forget about the money incentive. Let's look about the incentive, healing, of joy and happiness in your life. And look at our lives. We're so gosh darn busy. We don't have time to stop and smell the flowers. We're always on the run, always going. I want you to think about that. I know Tia would like to say something, but hold on a moment. So, really, what I want you to understand is that there's nobody hindering your life. It's you. And sometimes, well, I make a suggestion. I can't do that. I can't do that. No, I can't. I can't. I can't. I go, you won't, you won't, you won't, you won't. They get annoyed at me. But the truth is, taking that leap forward is where you become empowered and where you become healed. And then you can create the life you so desire. Go ahead, Tizu. I know you want to share something. So thank you for waiting.
You're welcome. Thank you for bringing up this topic. I think the one thing that I wanted to share was that it's really, really easy to make all these excuses and not do what you know intuitively that you need to do. Okay, we get so busy in our lives that, yeah, it's easy for someone to say, do this, do this, do this, but to actually physically do it and trust that it's going to work, that has to be a level of commitment that a lot of people are so busy in life, they kind of shove it to the corner because it isn't necessarily, we all want to have abundance in our life. And we forget about our own self worth because we put everybody as a priority before us. And when you taught me to look at abundance, and it's not measured by how much money you have or what you have. You pointed out what I'm really, really rich in. The unconditional love that we have for friends and family and all those other things. And I think that if it's possible, if we have enough time, if you could also cover that a little bit, because we really, really are blessed wherever we are in our lives, but we just don't even see it.
Yes, there's that old expression, you can't see the forest for the trees. When I say stop for a moment and think about it, years ago, many years ago, you grew up and you married someone in the same town and you lived in the same town, and on Sundays you go over grandma's for dinner, and or later on mom's for dinner, and that's what you did. And it was a family cohesive unit. And also if there was a problem, like you needed something fixed in the house or whatever, or you lived on a farm, your neighbors, friends would all help you. Well, we've lost all that. It's gone. It's gone because of our economy and money. People move jobs different directions. They need a job here, maybe they're overseas, wherever they are. So that doesn't exist anymore. but there's a loneliness within your soul. And that loneliness is you miss that interaction, that support and love from your friends and relatives. There are very few friends that are going to support you when things go wrong. Now, let me just say that there are very few, or they'll call, oh, I'm sorry you're sick, right? But yet, the old days, and even now, if they live near me and they're really sick, I'll bring over a pot of chicken soup, penicillin, chicken soup's penicillin. Or, I'll help them out or, mow their lawn or whatever, do something for them. But most people don't do that anymore. They're too wrapped up, too busy. And it's like, oh, I'm sorry you're sick, but now I got to go watch TV or I got to do this or that. We don't take time to appreciate one another. And that's so important. Appreciate one another. I was thinking, and I get together with friends and we alternate. We have a little once a month, or we try to anyway, to get together for dinner. And I was thinking, well, it's my turn for dinner. What should I prepare for dinner? Well, I'll share. I'd like to do gourmet things. But what I heard was go back to basics, something their mother would have enjoyed or mother did. And you think about it, pot roast, that's something your mother probably made. Really basic pot roast, and you had peas and mashed potatoes and things like that. And that's part of the basic of life because I was thinking about it because I know if that's what I choose to serve, they're going to go, oh, I haven't had this since I was a kid. What am I doing? Bringing back fond memories, not only for them, but for me. But I'm just bringing that as an example. And just to be there and support one another. It's so important that we need to support one another. What's the most important way you can support another person? By listening. That's what's so important. Not offering suggestions, just listen. And it's so important because what I've discovered, not all the time, but when I listen to someone, they finally come up with their own solution. They go, oh, thank you. As I knew you would, because you just had to get it off your chest. Isn't that incredible? So amazing by just listening, but we don't listen. I don't have time. I don't have time. I got to run here, go there. I know that they call it the soccer moms or whatever, running around with their children. It's really wonderful that, they're doing all these things for the children. But there's another area, well, which I'll reminisce for a few minutes, but not too much in depth, of, we have to set up a play date. We just went outdoors, knock, 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 Jimmy home, Janie home, can you come out and play? We just went out and did that. And then we turn around, be home when the sun sets or whatever, or we had to watch, be home by 5:30 or have dinner or whatever, and we came home. And that's what we did. Now, I realize that people are living a little further apart than before. And then I hear from the mothers, oh, well, you can't, there's children being abducted and so on and so forth. And yes, that's true. But I really looked at it. The same amount of children that were abducted back in the 40s and 50s is now the same. The numbers are greater because the population is greater. Now, I'm advocating that you don't do play dates. No. What I am advocating is if you live near someone within a block or less or near them, have your children go out and meet them. Don't set up a play date. And of course, what do the children do today? On the iPad, on the computer. Wow, isn't that educational? Isn't that giving the freedom to express themselves? Think about it. They're not expressing themselves on the computer or the iPad because why? They're following instructions, point A to point B, point C, and all this stuff. Or they're playing a game. But when we went out and played, we invented things, cowboys and Indians, war, hide and go seek, catch me if you can. We played, I don't know, stickball, all kinds of different things. We were creative, we were inventive. That's something that is not occurring anymore. And we think we're doing our children a favor. Really not. Now we have AI, artificial intelligence, which I understand can write a book for you. Hey, you can do anything you asked. Oh, great. That's really going to educate our children, isn't it? It's going to educate you. Well, Michael, it's so easy. Yeah, it is easy to say, chat, blah, 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 write a book on snails and how snails propagate and how they eat leaves or whatever they do. Great. Did it come from you? Did you investigate it? You remember how it was created? No, you might read it. Next day you read something else and it's forgotten. Within us is a beautiful energy. This energy is called creativity, and it comes from your soul, comes from your heart, and we've lost that touch. So here we are now. The soul is awakening. Say, knock, 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 knock. Get rid of all this garbage, your fears, your doubts, your lack of self worth, self love, and self esteem. Get rid of it. So, what would be next? Next, you have the ability now to have no strings attached, no noose around your back or around your neck, nothing from stopping you from creating those things that bring you love and joy and happiness. Not what society says. What is it in your life that you can express that brings you love and joy and happiness? When have you really stopped and gone in the backyard or a park and just sat there and smelled the flowers, watching the children play, watching people holding hands or having a picnic or walk? When's the last time you do it? You probably can't remember. So what's fun? Let's go out to dinner. Let's go out to dinner. Let's go out to dinner. I love to eat and I love going out to dinner. I love the interaction. But half the time they're on their phone. Half the time they're looking at something else. And then I watch couples where they snipe at each other. Wow, isn't that really great? They're airing their dirty laundry. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to see it. I'm out for a good time and having joy. So, the simplest things in life, remember this. Your soul is saying the simplest things in life is what brings you joy. What are the simplest things? Like I said, going to the backyard or watching kids play. Also, having company over, doing a small little barbecue. Nothing fancy. Sharing laughter, sharing experiences, sharing your growth, sharing things that you both or all of you can enjoy. Not that I'm vice president of a company or I made $78 million this year, yada, yada, yada. Oh boy, does that make you better than me? No. It just, you have this ability to make more money. And then what happens? That owns you. You've given up your freedom. But there's another step. You can be very wealthy, but nothing must own you. And this is what your soul is saying. Nothing must own you. You must be free to experience, to grow, and appreciate one another. Therefore, I'm just sharing these thoughts with you as your soul is awakening because you, and everyone watching this, is going to get a lot of pressure. Let go of the past, let go of the belief systems that are limited, and open your mind, your heart, your soul to creating those things that make you unlimited and bring you joy and happiness. I want to thank all of you for this opportunity to share this with you. And Tia and I want to share a couple of other things with you. So we have this little game with each other, whoever can get the book up first. And this is a beautiful book called Healing the Souls, Healing the Holes in Your Soul. A beautiful book about survival, about the mythological bird rising from the ashes as the phoenix. And it's beautiful, it's empowering, and it's really wonderful. This is a must read. It's beautiful, it's empowering. And to you, I'll turn it over to you.
Super. Thank you, Michael. What a beautiful presentation you've just done. And I would highly encourage everyone to start with this book. This is The Spiritual Primer, the second edition by Dr. Michael Gross, because if it wasn't for this book and the gentleman right beside me, the book he's holding would not even be printed. It wouldn't have even been a book. I would have been off on some other little tangent, but he is an incredible, inspiring, amazing man that can help you with all kinds of wonderful things. I mean, listen to what he just said. We're going to keep on going though, because we are running out of time, Michael. And what I wanted to let everybody know is that thank you so much for all the wisdom that you shared with us. Before we give the phone numbers that you always have on Tuesday and Saturday and whatnot, go over to Michael's YouTube page. It's Dr. Michael B. Gross. A lot of our recordings from our Thursday nights are on his YouTube channel. And he also has roughly 10-minute recorded messages that are also there. So one more time, because there's a lot of Dr. Michael Grosses, you want to type in Dr. Michael B. Gross, hit the subscribe button because he has a plethora of wisdom to share with you, okay? And now, Michael, why don't you tell everybody really quick what you do on Tuesday night and the second Saturday of every month?
Well, before I do that, I just want to remind everybody, we talk about our books. TU and I don't look at the work we do as a business. Some people say, what business are you in? No, I'm in service to empower you. That's why we show our books, because we believe they're empowering. So I just wanted to leave you with that thought. So the second Saturday of every month, we do what we call the Mass Consciousness Healing. And it starts at 9:55 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time to 11:01 Pacific Daylight Time. And we very seldom run over 11:01. And after the first few minutes, we talk, we introduce ourselves a little bit, and we go into silence. So should you join us a little late and you hear silence, it's because we've already begun the meditation. Because I wanted you to know this planet and our inhabitants need a lot of healing. And so to access that, it's on freeconferencecall.com. And the telephone number is
202-926-1059. And the access code, Michael?
125-446-pound.
I'll give that number again. That number is 202-926-1059. And the access code?
125-446-pound. And using that same telephone number, the same code, every Tuesday evening from 6:30 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time to 7:30 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, we have what we call the Soul Awakening, where you ask any questions you so desire. Hopefully I can answer them. And I give you a 10-minute motivational message, which you can find on YouTube with a beautiful photograph that TU does. She's an award-winning photographer, and there's a little quote. And to access that is the same number we just gave you. So we'll just announce it once, and that number is?
Okay, it's 202-926-1059, and the
Access code is 125-446-pound. Now I call the replay, and there are over 200 what I call replays, or these messages that are 10 minutes long that are given as Soul Awakening. And you can listen to it any time. You start at number 3 and go up to number 210 or 11. And don't worry, you don't have to worry what it is. Just pick a number. And when you pick a number, it'll be the right message, because that's what I always hear. I don't always listen to it, Michael, but it was perfect. So to access that number is
434-300-4170, and the code?
Access code is 125-446-pound. One more time.
Absolutely. I've also written everything in the comments, so you can also take a copy of that if you like. But the code is, the phone number is 434-300-4170. And once again, on the code?
125-446-pound. So I want to thank all of you for joining us. Please share this. We would love to have more subscribers and people watching this, because it's very important we get this message out. So the more you mention the people, the more they subscribe, the higher placement we'll get to give our message to those who really need to hear it. TU and I would like to thank each other for, I thank you for being on, and I thank all of you for being on. And we have Mother's Day coming up. So I wish all your mothers a wonderful, happy, and joyous, and your spoiled Mother's Day, because without you, we wouldn't be here. And those who are on the other side, say a little prayer and thank them for being your mother. To you, is there anything you want to add before we go?
Thank you, Michael. Yes. Like I said before, we really, really, really appreciate you coming here tonight. And every Thursday night we do this. And what we'd really like to do is invite your friends. Okay. There are so many people out there that can really benefit from listening to Michael's messages. And, we are all family. We're all here as part of a greater as part of the true source. We're all here because of the energy that we have within us. Our mother gave us life, but my mom is gone, but my mom touches me all the time. I'm always only a fraction of a second away from my mom. Anytime I need her, she's still here. So honor your mom, hug her if you're able to. And if not, always know that your mom and all those who have gone before you truly love you and they're still around you. Okay.
Thank
So
you,
on that,
everyone.
thank you so much.
And remember, you are unlimited. Namaste, everybody. Thank you.
Namaste. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Bye-bye.